Hi everyone, welcome to the Odoo Insider session. As usual, every Thursday we have that 2-hour session together, answering your technical-functional questions. Just shoot and I see if I can help you solve it. Always the same way, trial and error, trying to show you what we do internally, how we would solve it if it were our consultants trying to solve that issue for one of our clients or one of our partners. So you know the different platforms we are working on. As usual, we have LinkedIn, we have Twitch, we have YouTube with me. Together, I have Delphine helping me, finding the questions, trying to answer, running the show here. I see that at the moment we don't have any question, but that's fine. I have plenty on my side I can start the show with. You will see that here I have a quick slideshow. That's the one I always use with the link, as you know, here for watching the previous episodes. Next week, by the way, I think it will again be me. There will be a few other sessions in the next few weeks. I remember that there's one especially about the Swiss payroll. There's a huge topic coming inside Odoo and also for the partner network over there, because we are getting closer to have something that is purely standard already working for Switzerland. So we'll have a presentation about that. I think it's just right in February. Until then, it will be mostly Q&A like we have at the moment. And I can start with a few things that every time you can see, every time I try to keep the person that sends us a message. Of course, if it's LinkedIn, it's a real name. Otherwise, it looks more like a pseudonym that you see here. Bopio asked us something about Odoo 17. I don't even know if it's possible, so we are going to have a look at that. So in Odoo 17 is our keyboard shortcut to add the next product line when creating a quote. You know that at the moment, Odoo would be in version 18 if you start and you go on odoo.com. Let's start easy. Let's repeat a few things that maybe some of you already know. If you go on odoo.com/trial, you go here, you select a few applications. As usual, I need to switch from my French to English for this session. If you go here, you see the different apps. You can add a few, you go forward, and you will be in version 18. It's the latest version that we have at the moment. Very soon, 1, 2, 3 months maybe, we are going to have 18.1. That will be an intermediate version between 18 and 19, only on the SaaS. So very important at that time, if you plan to move on Odoo SH, pay attention to always start in 18, not 18.1. Otherwise, what will happen is that you will be kind of stuck on that version, not that version, but at least on the SaaS, because you won't be able to move to Odoo SH if you are on a version above 18. Well, you will be able to do that, but once 19 comes out and we have the migration script. So that would mean like December of this year. So it's quite a long time to wait. So version 17, if you want to test it, what you need to do is go here on the runbot. Inside the runbot, you see we have many things over there, different servers with different versions. If you want to test what will be version 18.1, that's where you would go. You check the master. It's a completely, let's say, working in progress environment. So that's why you will find a lot of red things here saying, okay, we have trouble building the master, simply because there are a few more bugs. We have the SaaS 18.1 over there, and we have also the version 18 at the moment. And if you want to test something about 17, it is here. And it allows me, maybe I'm going to to auto-correct myself here, because I see we already have something like the SaaS 18.1. So usually when we do that, it's because we merge things in a version that we think is stable enough and that we are going to release. So I'm going to try something together with you. I'm going to create a new instance here. I'm pretty sure we're still on 18 and not 18.1, but I want to test that. So I'm going to call that, as usual, I have my own coding here. Let's try to see if I have 18.1, but this one is maybe already existing. I will try this. All right, and while it's building, I will move. So here I selected a few applications. It's going to take a few seconds. If I go here, I can test the version 17. I will go here. It reminds me of something, testing this. Yeah, maybe here it's important also to notice that when you are in a runbot, anyone can use the runbot. So it could mean that some people are going to change the language, some people are going to change some backgrounds or things like this. And sometimes it's a bit harder to use this because you know that some other people are testing at the same time as you do. So sometimes you arrive here, it's a language you don't know, even maybe an alphabet you don't know, so it's a bit harder to navigate. Here it's okay, everything is in English. But so I will come back to the question that was a keyboard shortcut to add the next product line when creating a quote. So let's go on a quote and let's see. Do we have a keyboard shortcut for that? So going here, selecting a company, you know that if you type Alt, you see the effect here on the screen. There are lots of shortcuts that exist. Some of them are always the same, like C for creation, you see here for the new button, S for saving, J for cancelling. You have a few that are always the same, and on top here, Alt H is going back there, so to the main screen. And then if you type Alt H again, you go back to the screen you were just before, and also the possibility to navigate with just the numbers here, and then as you can see, using a keyboard just to move around the menus. So the question was, is there a possibility to add a product? So apparently not. So if I use the shortcut here, like the Alt key to show all the shortcuts, we don't see anything inside the quotes. So I guess it's not. And it's funny because asking this, I didn't even realize that. I suppose that if you ask this, there must be something in version 18 where we have that. So I'm going to try this on the test environment that I just created now, because it looks like if you ask for version 17, there must be something. I want just to try it. I know, even here it's the same. And if I go here, it doesn't change anything. So I don't know, maybe there's a way to navigate just with tabs. Okay. No, I don't think so. So I think that is not something that we have unless using the tab key, but that is quite long. So as you can see here, you don't see that much, I guess, on the screen, simply because I'm using some tabs, and that's the highlighting system on the add a product, add a section, add a note. Is very subtle, so you don't see it very well. Extra thing is, again, it's just using a series of tabs to go to the right button, but it's not the same as directly having a shortcut like here, just for cancelling what I'm doing. So apparently we don't have that, I'm sorry. But that's a good point. There was another question I see on LinkedIn related to the product as well, on a quote from Abir El Nahas, which is how to use barcode for product variants in sale order or purchase order. It gives the main product, not the variant. That is a good point. In order to test that, I would need a barcode. Do you know if we have barcode somewhere? I didn't pay attention to this, but I can try to do it differently without any barcode. We're going to try that. Okay. There's something that we can try, which is having already different products. I'm going back to my former environment that is here, so it's not the one I just created now. Yeah, we wanted to test something first. We wanted to have a look at the settings and see if it's 18.1 or if it's still 18. It's still 18, so a new database now, I confirm it's still 18. Okay, let's go here. I just want to try and see if I have a few products with barcodes. But that would be... I have an idea, but I don't think it will work. So barcode, I was saying. Let's find the t-shirt. We have something here, and then we have some variants. So maybe that's a place where we can do something. When you have variants, I think it's hiding, as you can see here, the barcode thing. I'm going to launch a debug mode because I want to check that. I think that the barcode field is hidden when you start using variants. So let's go here on the form view. I'm going to look for some barcode stuff. Okay. Yes, that's it. Field name, barcode. It's invisible when you see here. Product. Oh, I'm making that a bit too big. Product variant count is higher than 1. Then we make the barcode field invisible. All right. So it means that it needs to be managed on the variant level. You go here and then you have a barcode. So maybe I can try doing something here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. And I'm quickly going through the different ones, like 2, like here 3. It's not like maybe there's a in the demo that there's maybe something already existing like this one. We are going to make a quick check for that, because sometimes it's also useful to use the demo environment that we have. That is 5 or 6, this one. That is 5. Okay, and let's try here, number 6. All right. Going back here, you don't see them, but I guess that we would have something there to see them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's okay. We can come back here and we can try something. If we create a new quote over there, selecting a product, trying this, it won't fetch it. We had a discussion last time about the barcode selection, but I wonder if it's not also because you need to enter, yes, you see the product variant. So Abir and Lahas, with the widget or not, I wonder if what you need to do is not to check the product variant here item. You see there's a difference between that's something that the view changed a little bit in terms of sell order lines in the quote or quote or sell order. You will see that in the description what you do have is just like a plain description. I think that we usually have a product template instead of product variant, but doing this, I know that I changed so much, with the different sessions that we have together. I know that we changed the way Odoo is behaving, so I will maybe go back to the new database I created here, because I think that there also there's a difference. Do we show? Yeah, difference is that you will have that product and product variant. On my side, I think I even even hide just the product because I don't see it there. On your side, Abir, I would say go there and check if by just moving from no, it's that is run, but sorry, just moving from product to product variant, it's not doing the trick that you want, with then a search on the product variant barcode instead of the product itself. You can test that so that and you tell us if this is working. And your second question, it's fun because we had that, I think it's last week. We cannot do that. What we did already, and if it's not last week, it's the week before, definitely one of those 2 weeks we covered this topic. I will make it short because it was already done, and it was not like a long time ago where I understand that it would be difficult to retrieve the video. Here, what you're asking for is that when you have a look at currencies, there's something specific, is that when you deal with currencies, you can ask, I will maybe go back to multi-currency, and in debug mode, you can ask to have more accuracy. So you are going to change where the definition of how many numbers you would like to have after the comma, so that your numbers are more accurate. And that is I think, yeah, that is here. You need to be in debug mode. That's as simple as that. And that's the rounding factor that we have here. And it is telling you this. You cannot reduce the number of decimal places. So some people, they don't pay attention, and they go here and they add extra 0, so that when you do that, you will have any place where you have a monetary field. So on the invoices, on the quote, on the purchase orders, lots of other documents, you will have that rounding factor taken into account. So you are going to move, you see here, if I go out the field, it will move from decimal places from 2 to 3. Oops, there we have 3. I'm not going to save this one so that I'm not getting into trouble. But if you move and you have 3 or 4, then it's impossible to reduce, simply because you would have already accounting entries generated, and those accounting entries, if we were to accept moving from 3 to 2, we would need to find a way to round numbers in the accounting, which we could not do because it changes, in fact, your accounting, and we cannot do that. Like it's not something that is allowed. So that's why you cannot do it. I know that we had the question already on the support, and that it took us a while to create part of a script that is unique per database, so we cannot send something like we have a fix for you. It's just a button, one button click that you click and it solves the issue. There you will need to contact our support and see if there's a possibility to move that back, and they will take time with you, but usually that is a paid service because it's really consulting. It takes a lot of time. All right, So time to move to another question. I see here that we have someone on YouTube, Malai Kamar, saying, what is the best use of non-trade account in Odoo? That is a very vague question. So there are lots of places where we use non-trade account in Odoo. I suppose, but I'm not sure that you're talking about the chart of account and that you have lots of accounts that are not related to trade, but there are a lot of things that are not related to trade, like, for example, the VAT. Well, technically, you are going to use maybe some accounts when you are trading, and so when you have vendor bills or when you have a customer invoices, but that's also not mandatory. Well, even when you have 0% taxes, you may have an extra line that is generated. I would like to know what you would like to accomplish there, Malai, because I see after that you talk about Payslip journal entry, and so I don't know if those two questions are related together. But your second question was like, once we generate Payslip journal entry, how can we reconcile them with employee salaries? I'm not sure that you are going to reconcile them. It's more like you are going to balance them because you are going to have, so that will be a bit long to answer, but we can try to have a look. I'm going to, on the runbots or on a demo database, I'm telling you why. There are a few areas where it's good to use a demo environment for a quick check like this one. Particularly, I like to use it for appointments or payroll, because then you have data that is a bit complex to put in place that is already existing thanks to the demo data. So that's why I would like to go there and check. But payroll is not there by default, so I will need to go here, ask for some payroll information. And by the way, I was telling you that we have from time to time some extra payroll discussion here. I'm going to use one from, yes, payroll account, so it's a link with accounting in Belgium. So I suppose that there we would have something that is right, quite okay. But why would you use them, like non-trade payable and receivable accounts? Because I see the goal of having payable and receivable accounts, but that's what you mean with the employees, right? Going back on the same question, it means you'd like to have accounts that are kind of linked to a person or a group of person, but that are not because of an invoice. I suppose that is what you mean. And in that case, I think I start to understand where you want to go. It is, you are going to define accounts based on the rules that you have in the payroll, and it's rule based, it's not person based. And so maybe what you mean is, okay, but then if it's rule based and not person based, it will hit or it will join some accounting, but I don't know who it is for. And that's maybe why you are asking those questions. We can try this. Okay, here I see it's, you see it's something with the real-time connection lost, and it's popping even though we still have connection. And I see there we have in the background a bit of a purple thing, so maybe it's already loaded, by the way, so I will refresh this one. Looks like it is working. No. Okay, let's try again and see what it is telling me. I will start my Belgian company here because it's anyway the Belgian one on which I would like to have a look at the payroll. Okay, do we have the payroll module installed now? Yes, it is installed with the Belgian chart of account. Okay, Belgian stuff. Payroll, all right. Let's go there and let's try to see, because I think, remember, I'm not an expert in payroll, even though I like the idea that we dive into the payroll applications with Odoo. I think that's where, yes, you have accounting and then you have debit and credit account. But so, as I was saying, this is rule-based, and several people may have the same rules applied depending on the salary structure that they have. So it would mean that anyway, debit and credit account cannot be linked to people, but maybe the same way it is working, like in general accounting for when we have an invoice. It is the same account that is targeted for client A or client B, but we can find the client because it's the partner ID field that is filled in there. I don't know if it's the same for here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check if we have rules where we have accounts being defined. I'm not sure that we have this by default. If we don't, I will have to take a bit of time to fill the information myself. Let's say if we have something like debit account is set. Okay. Monthly pay, we have a few places like, okay, so if you go here, I'm going to try like the it looks like the CP200 employees monthly pay. There are a few rules that use a few accounts, so we can maybe try that. So to pay our all pay slips, I'm going to generate a new batch then. Okay, there's no batch. All right, let's try a new pay slip, but again, I will have to dive into the different contracts that we have. Test January. All right, okay. And do we have an employee? Yes, here I'm on the Belgian side, so there's nothing existing but the monthly pay. And then we don't have any employee with that. So I need to create first, I need to generate part of the data to make that work. So I need to go in the employees, create an employee. I will create my own employee. All right. Okay, and then we have a contract information that is important here. Okay, a contract. Let's see. Okay, we'll select this one. Salary structure type, but do I have the contract type? Okay, permanent, blah blah blah. Working schedule, okay. But this one, I wonder if we have. Okay, I will be my own responsible. Okay, monthly pay, the regular pay structure, that's what I wanted to check. So I have a contract, I have a wage here. Okay, we say this, we have CP 200 Belgian employee, and when we go in that CP, I will select monthly pay. I'm going to retry this. If I'm saying, I'm going there, I re-click on generate pay slip, salary structure, Belgian employee, okay. Still not, or should I? Nope. Is it the correct contract? Yeah, maybe I need to make it running. The rest, I guess I don't care too much. Okay. Fixed wage. Do I have something else that I need to fill in? All right. Payroll, legal name, Okay, let's retry that. Yeah, okay, good. So you see, a few things that you need to do is having an employee. It's not my some areas I use a lot, so there's always a bit of looking for the information. Creating a contract, and then don't forget to make the contract run, otherwise it's not going to be a contract that will be considered in the ones that we want to generate. So I'm using the generate button. I have some pay slips here. So here it's waiting, and in salary computation, are we going to see, okay, if you remember, one of those items is going to put some amount inside some accounts in the accounting. Yes, so that is good. The period selected doesn't match the contract because my contract starts, I guess, I didn't pay attention, I guess it starts today. And here you have created that draft entry, and that is the one that I think is going to generate some accounting entries. I will click on OK. And can we see that journal draft entry? There you have it. And checking here, do we have, can we find a partner somewhere? It doesn't look like it is linked to any partner, and so you see the different accounts, and again the accounts that we have here are linked to the salary but are not linked to a person in particular. And what I don't remember, but on YouTube was asking is find a way to match each and every of these payments to what we, a global amount that is going to maybe get out of the bank, and see if these ones could be linked to one person. From this place, I don't see it, but what I can do, as this is a accounting entry, you can find it, usually this one. It's a draft one, but we can find it in the accounting, over there, accounting journal entries. There must be one that is not posted. I can go there and say the draft ones. That's the salaries of January. And so, yes, it's a journal salaries, reference January 25, yeah, and it's not linked to a partner. So maybe even, I need to make a test with several partners, but that you can do on your side, I believe, is checking with different employees if it selects, creates entries with, that is globalized. or if it's one entry per person. Here I did it, I would assume, as I did it from my only employee here, I did it from here and not from a list view. I would expect it to be one entry per employee, so you would find the information, but it's true that it's maybe not excellent in terms of reporting on the journal entry side, because you were saying, yes, I see what you mean. Going here, if I go on the journal entry, you have lots of different accounts here, but that one, for example, yes, that's what you meant. There's no reconciliation over there, so those kind of accounts are linked to remuneration or payment of people without being a receivable or payable account. But that's what we have. You see, it's a preset that we have with the Belgian chart of account, but maybe on your side, you need to make a bit of research on which account should be used for which kind of payment. Like this one is typically Belgian. We call it in French ONSS, so it's a National Social Security. That one is typically a Belgian name, so I don't expect you to have any account that has a name that is close to this one. Well, close maybe, but not exactly this one. So it will be different per company and per chart of account. Okay, I see that we have also a recurring person here, Smart BC Stefan, that is on Twitch. A long question, so I'm going to read it aloud for those that are not on Twitch. This is in Odoo, yes, in Odoo 17. Let's say via the subscription module you made a sale order with a product that has the recurring option set. Yes, the product is storable with invoicing policy set on ordered quantities. It also has two recurring plans, monthly and yearly. The sale order is for a yearly plan, but it shouldn't matter for this scenario. End date for this field end date field for this subscription is set. Let's say that an invoice is created for this order, the product are delivered and then returned. Okay, the delivered quantity of the product does not change. This can be confusing to the user. Ah, yes, okay. And the compute method of delivered. So you had a look at the compute method for delivered, and so that the field's dependencies are changed in sales subscription stock, which is a module that bridges sales subscription, yes, and sales stock. The dependencies are or the next and invoice date. Okay, what are the business logic reasons for the change? Oh, that I cannot tell you. Okay, guys, it's quite long. I wonder if I shouldn't be taking a screenshot so that people can see the question that we have here. Let me check if I can do that. I think I can. I have it here. It's long, so it's long, and I know that for the people that are watching it on LinkedIn or YouTube, that would be a bit more complicated. So I'm going to do this, and let's see if that would work. I guess it's so long that it will be difficult. Yes, that is your question. All right, let me say give the credit to you. Is that correct? Yes. So that's the question that is asked, but it's yeah. This is here. So the issue that the general question is the following, and that is where I will struggle myself. You ask me something about, I'm going to hide this one so that it can be read by more people. You're asking me the following. It's more like the business logic reason for the changes. I don't know because most of the time, it's not that we don't have the business logic, but we would be like you, we would have to infer or try to guess. Trying to guess is sometimes very difficult because you're not sure of all the different people that were involved in that change. But one of the things that we can do usually is have a look at what you said here. So I'm going to go to the module that you mentioned, and I'm going to try to git blame and see if, or to try to find the commit, because maybe someone explained why it was done. The thing I would be afraid of is that usually when we talk about a new module, and that one is quite recent, it's not a small change that we brought, it's maybe one change in a list of big things, and then in that case we don't explain each and every line. But I think it's a good exercise to demonstrate on how we can find that kind of information. So it's in sales subscription stock, and it's saying about order ID next invoice date. So let's have a look at that first. Let's go here. Subscription is enterprise, so I will go here. You told me it's in version 17, but I would suppose it's the same in version 18, but I will go here, version 17. Okay, making this bigger for you. And all right, here we go. It's order ID, next invoice date, so I guess it would be in the sale order here. Do we have next invoice date somewhere? No. Or start date. So you said, but there's a compute. Compute method for delivered. Okay, let's try to find. But then delivered wouldn't be on the sale order, but sale order line rather. I suppose. Compute method. Yeah, that's it. Compute quantity delivered. That doesn't change. But you have quantity to deliver. So I don't know if that's the one we are talking about. Just quickly, delivery logic. Okay, subscription quantity post invoice. Okay, it looks like it would be one of those that you mentioned, but there it doesn't look like there are many changes in this one. Steven, can you tell me if that's the place where you went for finding how we change the quantity delivered or to deliver? I have a doubt now because you mentioned version 17. I don't know if it's different in version 18. Yes, version 18, at least the code is not the same at the beginning here. So I don't know. At the top, the first one, compute quantity delivered. Okay, thanks a lot for answering. But this one, it's just a super, and there's no change. In fact, when I try to answer those questions of why we don't do it, I try to see if doing it wouldn't be resulting in worse outcomes for cases that are not your own. Because sometimes you are so deep in your use case for your client that you forget that there are lots of other use cases not only your own, and that's why you feel okay, but it's strange for my use case, but in fact it's normal for lots of different use cases. Okay, it's that's what you mean. The signature here changed because you have the dependency. Okay, depending on the next invoice date or start date. Compared to the other one, that would be then in the other module, the initial one. I don't know, but we can do what I was telling you. Yeah, we can check. We did that, and maybe there's an explanation to this. Yeah, but no, that's I'm afraid of. You see here, there's a huge change like 2 years ago for a bunch of different things that are computed, so I'm not sure it will be explained there. Otherwise, that would be the place. Yeah, it's a bit too generic. Yeah, okay, that tells you in the broad lines around it, and it didn't change for more than 2 years. Okay, we can try to find that together, but I'm not sure it will result in a good answer. So why would we change the dependency here for recomputing what has been delivered? Because here you have a product that is a storable product, and then we need to change that. Do you know which is the one that we use for the other compute quantity delivered? It's for the service one, like just in the subscription, right? So I would like to make a comparison. So maybe I can go there. It will be just sales subscription, I think. Okay, I suppose that would be there with sale order, not alert, sale order line. In that case, it would be. I will try to find the same. It's not in this one that I will find it then. Compute invoice status. But yeah. Wait a sec. Yeah, I'm not going to have. No, I should have it. I'm not going to have quantity delivered because you don't have a real delivery. No, but you have even timesheets are delivered, so it's not so much about delivering something physical. But then we have that super on the sale order line, so it should be somewhere here. But I don't see it. Do you know? Okay, I'm continuing with the text. So in sales stock. All right, yes, it could be that it's not related at all to the subscription. Continuing to explain what Stefan is telling us. The normal field dependency are completely different in the inherited function. So what he's saying is that the reasons for changing what is delivered is totally different here than in the main function that would be then in sales stock, which is then Odoo and then just sales stock. Let's try this. It's not there. Yes, it's different the way to navigate it. Yes, not 18, 17, and then sales stock. Yes, that's the one. Let's try to find if we have something in sale order line. And yes, okay. There we say it's okay, there are different things. Here the state move. Okay. I'm not good enough, technically speaking, to even know if when you do this, you add more depends or if you replace them. I suppose that there we add, because I would suppose again that the move things are important in order to compute it, but I don't know why you would do that. Maybe it's the following. As is a subscription, and you move product according to the subscription, just maybe, but we can continue this and see if that would be the reason. When you have a subscription for product that you are going to deliver, maybe the reasoning is the following. The amount that you want to show in the sale order line for your subscription is the amount of this month. Because what matters is what you are being delivered per month and not delivered globally. So that's maybe why here you want to use dates that would be acting as boundaries. It's really only a guess. I'm not sure about that, but talking about the difference that you may have with a regular delivery and a regular delivery for a subscription, it would mean this to me. I need to know how much I need to deliver every month. If you have the total number, it's not going to help you because you don't know if you go on the sale order how much you need to deliver this month. That could be the reason, but I'm not sure, Stefan. It's the kind of things that is super tricky because I think the real reason, if you want to know why we have that, you need to meet the developer. One place you can do that is we have 2 moments in the year where you can do those kind of things, because you can ask us, and that's what I like about the show. We are a consultant, so those kind of things, we don't have so much access to the reasons why. If I need to know why, I would need to sit next to the product owner or next to the developer to say, I need to understand how you thought about this one, because to me it's generating problems for my own use case, and see if it's better to develop on top of that, or if it's just like the solution is standard but I don't know it, because they do but I don't know it. So I will need to spend a bit of time with them. Luckily, well, we are in the same company but we are not in the same office, so anyway, if I need to do that, I need to move to go to the development place that is like 20 kilometers away. It's not that far compared to your place maybe, but it's still not like a colleague that I can go and bother just next to me. But the good thing is that those kind of things you can try to infer the same way that we are talking right now, or meet them during the Odoo experience, or during the partner days that are in May, usually each year. I suppose that we will have another session of partner days in May. And that is maybe the best moment to ask them those kind of things. But I understand that this can trigger some questions, like why do we change the reasons to recompute the quantity delivered, taking into account here the invoice dates, like dates instead of the quantities that are on the stock moves. I suppose that on my side, it would mean that you want to know for this month if it has been delivered or not, because next month you would like maybe that counter to go back to 0. It could be along those lines. Not sure that it could be that, but that's what I'm thinking of. It changes every month. All right, it's a very, very long question, and that I realize like there's still the last one that is missing. I'm going to show it just for the other ones. There's another part that is over there, putting this so that you can see it on the screen. That's maybe the trouble that we have when we have a long question and that we use multiple platforms, is that we need to re-explain what we are working on for the guys and the people on the other platform, but that's also the beauty of it. And it's a kind of a tricky one. Not sure about the answer, but that would be my guess, my take. Okay, circling back to LinkedIn now, we have Afizayaz Mahmoud that is asking us how to enable down payment option in PO while creating bills, just as in SO create invoice. I don't know. I don't know if it's even possible. Let's try. So I will reuse my old. Yes, that's the one. So having like down payment options. So on purchase side. So you would like to have a purchase order, have a down payment, the same way we have a down payment on the sale order for the invoices. So let's select any client. Let's put a product. All right, a storable product. Let's put whatever. We're good. And if I click on confirm order, yes, what you say is here we don't have the possibility to, well, you receive the product and you can create the bill, but what you don't have is the possibility to generate from here an advance payment. I think that maybe you don't want to track it the same way, and that's why we don't have it here. But in a way, what you could be doing already, if you have an advance payment to make, you don't have a button directly from here, but what you could do is either you receive the bill for that advance payment, like here, and then, yes, not invoiceable because this example is not correct because I see that storable products, they need to be received before we launch the create bill, which contradicts a bit your use case. So I'm going to retry that with another product. I'm going to use, yeah, maybe event registration, like for events. It could be something if you want to achieve, like I need to pay part of it before I'm registered. Yeah, here you see the create bill button is purple, so it means that we can proceed and do it. If I click on create bill, maybe you would like to use something different, that would be here just saying, okay, it's just the advance, but that would be in case you receive an invoice. If you don't receive an invoice and they already ask you, because usually part of the person that sells, some of them are not going to send you a document other than the PO. In that case, you will have to create the payment not being related to any invoice document, but otherwise that would maybe be this one for a partial amount, which I don't like too much because then it's going to mark it as invoiced, but from the PO, but not for the full amount. Yeah, I would suggest that this one you create maybe I'm not sure what would be the best way to do that. Would it be a payment without the invoice, because sometimes you are going to receive a demand from your supplier to pay, and he's not going to send you an invoice because it arranges him just in case it's nothing happens. At least he doesn't have maybe to pay taxes or something like this. I'm not sure about what would be the best solution. If you want to stay pure standard, what you can do is create a bill like we did. We have it here. Maybe change the product with something that would be an advance payment with the amount that is given here with like not the total amount. That would be a possibility. Other possibility would be if you don't receive an invoice kind of document from your supplier, would be directly to make a payment to that supplier and wait for the invoice later. But it's true that then you don't have directly on the PO, you don't see that part of the amount has been paid. It's just a feature that we don't have, but that I cannot explain why. And yes, just checking to be sure, but it's true that those are kind of areas where we don't have it for purchase while we have it for sales. We had the same discussion a few years ago about the discount, for example, where we said we didn't have discounts on purchase, and then people were saying, yeah, but sometimes you want to track how much discount you receive from your supplier. It's the kind of thing that simply we don't have, and that you need to find a way, one of the two ways I was mentioning, to handle that use case. That's maybe one I should think more of and see how the other consultants solved it, just to see if there's another solution I'm not thinking of, but it's a good one. So far that would be my answer with the two propositions I made, payment and invoice, but not with the same like one-click button like we have on the sales side. Okay, Imran Mansouri, is there an existing down payment fee? That's the same question, in fact. So it was from Imran. If it's not the same, exactly the same person, it's the same question anyway. So on YouTube this time, from Material Consulting, can we create products that are one in euro and the same product with USD in dollars? Yes, but not exactly by creating different products. So the best that you can do is the following, is using the notion of price list. So I'm going to show that. Here you see I'm a Belgian company, so obviously I will be in euro. Well, if I'm selling locally in Europe at least, and we have our lovely storable product that is here, and it is priced at 20 euro. If I want, and then I have a US customer, let's have a look. Maybe I have one French company, blah, blah. Okay. Do I have a US customer or something similar? I can create one US customer and United States. All right. There's something that you need to pay attention to, which is a price list. So at the moment, that person, I'm going to send document in euro, but maybe we want to do this differently. I don't have any other price list, so I will need to create a USD price list. I will click on create and edit. I do it from here, but I could go in product and then price list just there. It will be the same. I'm going to generate here a USD price list. And what you see here is that you have currency euro. You can go and, yes, of course, you can add USD if you added the dollars as a currency you want to use. I'm opening a new window just to show you where you can do that. In the accounting, for example, or in the general settings would work as well. You click on the general settings, and here I think if you type currencies, yes, you have a place where the main currency, which is the one of your accounting, there's a button where you can add new currencies. We have the Danish krone, we have the euro, and I can look for USD. Pay attention that just activating it doesn't change anything because the rate is this one. If you also want to have rates being computed, let's go back in the settings. You have the currency rate. You can ask to check from different places the currency rate update. And here you would say, I would like to have daily rates or manual ones. I will click here. It's going to refresh it, and I can say that later I would like it to be manual. Because I clicked here on the little icon, now I should have my currencies being updated. Let's have a look, currencies, again. Then you see the amounts are different. Of course, euro is 1-to-1, dollar is very close, but it's a different amount, so it's different enough so that I can see a change in terms of pricing. Going back on my price list in the other screen, now if I do this, I have USD that is available. I can, it's also for that company, and I can say that in fact the price is the same, or I could maybe reuse wait, on product formula, and I'm going to say I'm going to use another price list, and I can use the default price list. So that I'm going to use dollars on top of the price list in euro, and I think that this one is enough because there the usually when we do that, the amount is in euro, then we convert in dollars, and that's the end. So I'm saving this. I'm going to try it, but I know that the last time I tested it was with the previous way of working of the price list. So I wonder if it's still exactly the same, but let's try together. Quotes here. Let's select my US customer. So because I'm selecting it here, we have things in USD, so the amounts will be in USD as well. And let's select my storable product over there. And you see, yeah, it's not 20, it's 20.6. So that seems correct in terms of conversion. So if you ask, I would like to have different product because I want some in dollars, some in euro, I would say don't do that, because otherwise having different products means that you need to manage in a weird way. If those are physical products, it means that in terms of stock, you have two products in Odoo while you have really one product in your stock, and so it becomes a nightmare in terms of inventory management, but also in terms of valuation, things like that. So it's better to have one product with different prices depending on the market you would like to sell that product to. So that would be rather where I would go, one product and different price list that you attach to different regions. Like this one, it's for the US customers. And if you tell me, yeah, but it's not correct because usually when I sell abroad or in the US, I should have a margin that is a bit higher. Then you can do something like here, have a fixed margin or have a negative discount. So let's imagine that it would be minus 10%, which means minus discount means extra price. If I do this, we can retry it as well. Let's go here for my US customer. I will keep the former price so that you see the difference. If I go in storable product again, then you see that's the price that I will have now with the extra 10%. So you see the difference. So it brings me also to the discussion of we don't recompute the past prices that we selected. You wouldn't like to have this because otherwise we would go on previous quotes, change the price. Maybe a customer is going to have a look at the price and accept it because you didn't think about that, and so he benefits from a very, very low price, or he's going to be frustrated because you change the price without telling him. So that's why we don't do that. But here, that's the difference that you would have if you want to add an extra layer of cost. That is it. So what would be the next question? Because I see, okay, we have, you choose, Delphine. This one, okay, from Mohamed Rishad on LinkedIn. Is there any way to set different inventory routes for different product variants under the same product? Ooh, that's a good one. I don't think so. I don't think so because of the following. That would be because of the following. I'm going to continue my initial ID, and I think it's the right one. If I go in my inventory, I go in the configuration, and I have a look at the route. I select any route. You have here products, but you don't have product variants. So that's why I think that this wouldn't be working. You select per product and not per product variant, and so the fact that you have it here is the same reason why you have this selection on the product level. When you go here on a product, you say inventory, you select it here in the operations, but you don't have that view on the variants. Yeah, there's no variant. There are no variants on this one. I need to find the t-shirts. Okay, if I go in the variants, you don't have that information here. So that is a strong indicator. It doesn't mean that it is that I'm right, but usually having a look at this and saying, okay, there's no option. We have the indicator here. We have the same indicator, like the mirror view of this notion of route that is over there. And you see general settings, and it's maybe considered as a general setting. That would be one. Another one would be to go in the code and check if we redefine something related to the routes per variant, but I guess it's not. However, I think that maybe your use case can be answered with sale order lines or something more specific. Because when you have a look at what we have here in terms of applicability, the way Odoo works is the following. Sorry. It is, we start with something that is very generic, so like the product categories or the warehouses, so that we have general way of working with the stock, and then we say, okay, maybe we want to have a different way of working per product or per sale order line or even per packaging. And then the only thing is that here, maybe we miss an extra step of product variant, but maybe with some automations, you could do something like autofill the sale order lines depending on the variant. You will see what I mean. So if you have that kind of thing, let me check if there's one where we do it on the product. Yeah, this one, like manufacturer. Maybe you have different manufacturing routes and you would like to have it per product, but most especially per product variant. What you could do is select also sale order lines here, okay, and manually we could have the following. I'm going there, I'm going to validate this one, and I'm going to show you how we could do that or be close to what you want. Here I'm going to say, all right, I would like to select a manufacturer here as well for the t-shirt. And what we could do is, over here, we go, it's already validated, no. Okay, we say t-shirt. We have a few, you select here, and then you don't see it, but we have a route thing somewhere. Yes, that's the one. And you could say, okay, because I selected a blue small, I should select automatically that sub-manufacturer route. And how would you do that? it is through our own change. And you can do that with automated actions, so that when this one is selected, oops, it finds the root. You then need a corresponding thing between product variant and route. I'm just checking. Okay, I will try to do it very quick because I think it's a cool one. I'm going to add. I'm going to duplicate the other route first. So route, I'm going to say manufacturer. I duplicate it and I put manufacturer 2. And you can imagine that we will have different rules there, of course. Again, it will need to be tested, but I'm showing you the direction. So we have 2 manufacturers with the same notions. And I will say that the t-shirt here, I need to go back also to the parent view for the t-shirt. And we say t-shirt, all right. I need to select also manufacturer 2. Okay. Maybe what you can do is from variant view, say the following. We are going to add an extra. I hope I will find a solution. Sometimes I'm launching in one direction and I don't find it, but let's try. I'm going to add a minute to one somewhere, logistics, perfect. And I'm saying here, I would like to make it to a route. So if I, inventory route, perfect. So I'm doing this. I should have changed the name of this one. It's going to bother me now. Because you know, when you do that, then it has a strange name. I'm going to change it like a route or M route for manufacturing route. It's going at least to change the name or not? I don't remember if it does. No, so I need to copy paste that one because the name is very, very long. I should have paid attention to this before. So we have this, we have the manufacturing route, and I'm going to select manufacturer 2 for this one only. So it's the blue medium. All right. So the blue medium, we should do this. What we can do is go into the automation rules over there. Create a new one. That would be on product selection, select the route. Okay, and we do that. And it will be on the models. It's a sale order line. We'll see if it works again. It's just a test. And we say based on UI change, on updating. So the field, it's a product ID field. So it's product here, I think. And I'm going to say, I would like to apply this only on the sale order lines that have a product. Product for which there are variants, you know, so that it's not. We have a variant count somewhere. A variant. That is maybe just saying that this one is set. I think it should work. Let's try this one. Is set. If I do this, are we going to find one? Yeah, a few. I guess that's correct. Use custom, yeah, that's the one with the t-shirt. That's good. So it's just to reduce the amount of moments it's going to compute this. Just in terms of performance, I think it's a bit better. I'm not ultra sure about that, but I like to filter down the different moments at which that kind of action can be executed. So that, let's imagine I'm making a mistake. At least I'm reducing the amount of places that mistake will be done. So here I'm saying, okay. When we change that information, just recompute it, and let's try to do the following, which would be executing some code, which would be record. We are going to write on the record, and then I need to make that bigger because otherwise you are not going to see anything. It's already difficult for me. So I'm writing on the record, and I'm going to say, I think it's the route ID. I'm going to select the record.product ID. Then it's a field that I had. .id. Let's try this, you know, that innocent way I'm always telling you about. Let's try. I'm keeping that open so that I can test it on another place. Let's go here on the sale order, selecting the last one for my customer. Let's remove all of that. And let's try to add my t-shirt stuff or any other first. Booking fees. I don't have any issue with the route. Then if I go and select my, my t-shirt, and I'm selecting, it was blue medium, right? Yes, good. It selects manufacturing. Which one did it select? Cool. It seems to work. I'm going to select another one. T-shirt and blue small. Good. And here it doesn't select anything. So that is a prototype of something that could do what you want without having exactly what you want. And that is, that's maybe one of the things that is people or consultants struggle the most grasping. I'm not saying that is the ultimate solution. Of course, we need to check then if it matches what you want to accomplish very, very well. But what I like with Odoo is the idea that those kind of things are feasible. And very, very quickly, because as you can see, it was a bit of reflection, and then you go there, you execute some code that is, hey, let's try to find, and here it could even be considered as just one line. Oops, it's one line of code for doing this. So it's not that much, and when you know the base principle, if you have seen the previous videos, it's always more or less the same. It's a bit of finding the right records, writing on it, creating new records, finding how to reach the real variable that you need, creating that situation, which is, by the way, not ultra complicated once you know what is a model, once you know the different types of triggers that you have. I'm not saying that, of course, it's going to answer all of your use cases. I don't remember who asked me that. It was on LinkedIn, I think. But that's you see the direction where you can go. And those kind of things, I think, are very, very powerful with Odoo, because in the end, with a SaaS product, you can do those kind of little improvements. But of course, you need to have a good knowledge of what you have inside Odoo to start with. Otherwise, it's a bit more complicated. There is switching to another question from Twitch, this time from Ilgar Alizada, that is also a recurring person. Guys, next time there's an Odoo experience, I hope to see you for real, because every time I'm mentioning your names, but I don't know if we ever met, so it's cool if at least we can put a face on a name. So can we integrate Odoo with AI agents? Yes and no. Yes, because it's already done. I don't know if I already made that demo on the show, but let's go on our website. You may know that when you go on the website, I'm illustrating this in that place, but there are a few other places where it can be done. If you go here, I think that when you see, if I want to change that, I can slash to start that little structure box and type ChatGPT, and then I have a prompt, and I can say, please write 2 lines commercial sentence about Odoo. Oops. Insert, and boom, you have something. So that is already a first thing that you can do. Every time, in fact, that you have those kind of text editors, and you have them here on the front end, you also have them in the back end. So a few other places, like in the task, for example, if I go in the project, I create a new stage 1, okay, and I create a new task right over there. I'm using this one, but it can be, again, I think that in the description of the product, you can do the same here. As long as you have this and ChatGPT, you have access to those kind of features. And so you can use that. We decided to do it with ChatGPT, but I'm pretty sure that this kind of thing, so I'm going to go there and say, so it was ChatGPT, generate or transform content with AI. You will find a place where it is done. I'm just copy-pasting the text just to find where it can be located. I don't know if it's only Odoo Enterprise, or if it's no, it's HTML editor, so it's even in community version that we have that. So if you have a look at the way we did it, it's with a plugin here, and we load an extra line in that thing, and then I don't know how many lines it is. Okay, you see you have a few files with the prompt, with the JavaScript, with the I guess how to send a message, receive it, a few things like those one. That is how we did it. You can integrate your own if you want to change it, but at the moment I think that it's the only place that we use the ChatGPT. Look, so you see in the HTML editor, I can try to see if there are other places where we mention it. That is not in the HTML editor. Web editor, we have it as well, but it's the same. So one is in the backend, the other one is the front end. I don't know if we have more directories. I think we don't. So that's one of the ways we do that. There are a few other places that are a bit hidden, so you don't have control over that. Like when you go in the accounting, and that we, you go in the vendor bills, you click on upload, you upload a new PDF. And once you upload the PDF, Odoo is going to parse the PDF, so we send it to an OCR, and then we interpret the result. There's a bit of AI there. But I think that's mostly where we stop. There's also a big thing that we are doing is Odoo website. I would say scrapping, but it's not. It's a generator that we have. I always forgot where it is located. We discussed that. I think one of the first sessions we had on Odoo Insider, I remember we discussed it. Website scraper. It is something that we have from our website. It's odoo.com. I don't know if it's a trial with like an extra a comment here, like not a comment but an extra parameter to force the website scraper, or if it's something like this. But long story short, we have something that is in beta version. Maybe I will find it from here. In fact, start website. That's what I wanted. Thanks for that to that person. You see, it's possible to start and convert the existing website. So you enter an URL. You are going to receive a test environment of Odoo with a website that we try to scrape, so that you. Thanks, by the way. We try to scrape so that you can start Odoo with a website that has the same look and feel as your former website. It's still in beta. It has been something like 1 year because it's a lot of work. That's also where we use AI, but it's not AI that is available to you in a way that you can trigger it and choose what it is doing. But we have a few places like those ones. At the moment, I'm very impressed with what some consultants of Odoo do, because sometimes AI comes in forms that are useful for the project, even though it's not like directly inside the database that you will see it. Giving you an example, I have a colleague that started working on AI tools with Gemini with a bit of Python. And we were discussing that yesterday, so it's funny that you mentioned that. And he created a quick beta tool as well that I won't show you here, even though in the end his code is available on GitHub and it's a public repository. But maybe I will have the opportunity to discuss that in the next next chapter of Odoo Insider. And the thing is, we have tons of meetings with clients. Every day there are hundreds of meetings that are held. Mostly online, and so it's useful to extract the information that you have in those meetings, and there are notes-taking things that exist already. But what we did is that we do it offline so that we don't send too much information, and it's sometimes some people feel like a GDPR. They don't like the idea of having those notes being taken and shared with Google. So we do it locally, and we extract some information, and at least, for example, we have the output of the conversation, so that we get what was said. So if you want to find just even the timestamp of when you started a conversation with a client about something that you forgot, it's very good. You say, okay, we discussed about the manufacturing process. You make a text search on manufacturing process, and as you have the transcript of the whole conversation that was in video at the beginning, you will get all of that. You can have meeting notes, X-minds eventually, to-dos that are generated. So that is helping doing our job, not directly inside Odoo, but around Odoo, because as consultants, we have lots of meetings with clients, and note-taking things are super useful. We want to test this. It's still in beta for ourselves. We want to test this a bit further and see if it's something that is going to speed up the process at which we can help our clients onboard our clients or partners. And that is useful, but not inside Odoo, but around Odoo. So you see, I'm mentioning that because I think there are lots of initiatives around AI, like those ones, and it's not always directly inside the software that you will find those kind of things. All right. I see, I think it's on YouTube, yes, a question from DB Zhao. Hi Antoine, how can I find and disable any automated email that are sent by the code without interaction by the user, like subscription without payment tokens or sell order confirmations? Lots of places. I'm going to talk about the subscription one because that's one that I think is bothering a few people. On the subscription side, if you have a look, there's something, and we are going to have a look at the code very quickly, I believe. This one I don't have any sub, but what bothers a few of the users of Odoo is that when you have subscriptions running and the next invoice date is reached, we send the invoice, create the invoice, validate the invoice, send the invoice, and mention it on the sale order. And so some people say, yeah, but I would like to have the opportunity, for example, to change the invoice before it is sent, or please don't send it. There's anyway an extra. My customers know how to navigate the portal, and they don't need to receive an email for that. And there are a few places, maybe not everywhere, where Odoo is going to fail silently if you don't send an email. And I think that in the subscription that there's one. That's good because it's here, but not the one we stock. And I'm looking for the part of the code that can help you find what you can do if you don't want to send that many emails. So I don't remember if I think it's on the sale order. That's where we are going to have, the file, as you can see, is pretty long. Like we have 2,000 lines of code. And there must be something about the template of the email. So let's try to find digest. It's not this one. Sale order template. Is it this? That's for the upsell. A payment failure. Send success email. Okay, those are maybe the ones that you would like to avoid. That's, for example, send email on the transaction to pay subscription invoice has succeeded. Maybe you don't want this one. And that, I thought that we would find something like telling us that if it fails, it's okay. But apparently I'm wrong because I don't see any reference to that. Email context, and we reuse the template somewhere because we had a template here. So let me look for this. Okay, we reuse it at the bottom. I think that if you change the XML ID, I wonder if Odoo is not going to ignore that part and won't be able to send it because here you send it with an invoice. Let me check if there's another thing I was thinking of. There's something about a silent failure. Fail. No. I wonder about simply hiding. Well, so changing the XML ID so that Odoo cannot find the template. I don't know if there's a possibility to also archive it. We can go in the email templates. No, only deletion, so it's not going to help. So what you can do also is find ways by changing the default from or using a outgoing mail server that doesn't send emails, so that you have two mail servers and you select explicitly one for those kind of emails that is never going to send an email because it fails to connect. But you see the answers that I have are around forcing Odoo to fail in sending the email because it's not something that you can configure. Most of the time it's directly in the code, as you can see here with the template thing I was having a look at. That's something that I cannot say I don't like too much, but that it forces to select a template that has an XML ID, so sometimes you will have to relink the XML ID to another template if you want to use your own or another one, or to review the template that is generated by default by Odoo. No, I don't have an exact solution for that. I would say select the ones that you don't want to be sent in terms of templates and attach them to here in the setting an outgoing mail server that is never going to send an email. But that means that you need to have an email server being selected, well, at least one. Yes. So, and what will happen is that those ones, you will find them. It will still be generated by Odoo, by the way, but you will find them. You will find them here in the emails, not being sent because it will fail. So the status would be failed or error. and you will have to clean them once in a while. I don't like that because I think it's not like super clean, but I don't think that we have other possibilities for all the ones that are automated by Odoo to manage that in any other cleaner way. Yeah. Moving to the next question on LinkedIn. Hello, I'm Ishrak, technical coordinator for a consulting firm. I would like to inquire about how I can receive emails, RFQs from Outlook to Odoo automatically. How to link an email address or to configure that plugin from settings. Okay, that one. Maybe I can start with talking about the aliases. What you mentioned is an alias. You have here in Odoo by default several aliases that exist, and you see what is important is the alias model. You see there we have journal entries and then lead opportunity. So it means that when I'm sending a message, we can try this together. I'm going to send a message to this email address from my mailbox over there. One moment, I'm doing this from my Odoo mailbox, so I'm typing here on my other screen info at you know the name of my database, test Odoo insider, blah blah blah, and I'm sending this. If I wait 1 or 2 seconds, we are going to receive something here. But what is important is also, I was telling you about the alias model, but also about the default values here. We say type opportunity team 1. Let's have a look at that. Let's go here, CRM, and see, okay, I don't have any opportunity, but that's because if I go here, I have a look at the sales team of the Belgian company. Okay, this one is number 1, so it should be, it's 1 or 11. It's really too small. I'm not going to make this bigger. So anyway, but I have the answer here. It's the one because it's linked to the right email alias. So I should have at some point something reaching my pipeline. Is it the one? No, that's it. That's the one I just sent now. All right, you see we have today, so that's the one I just received. And it works because Odoo, when we created this environment, we have the domain name that is here. We create automatically some kind of mailbox with that exact same information on our server, so that on your side, when you send a message to info, we route it to the right place. And if you say, I would like to have the same for RFQs, you can create something, and then you decide to which type of alias model you want to attach it. If it's a RFQ like the ones that you need to answer, it will be more like a sales mission on your side, in which case it should be also reaching the following type of alias, like another one maybe for another team, and we can do that. I could do this, say, okay, I'm going to create RFQ there, but this time it's going to be different. The team ID would be, and I'm going to use another team ID that we can use for website RFQs. I will keep website, I will create another one. RFQs, and if I save this way, we have RFQ, and you see the same information over there. So I will say it's a CRM lead as well. And here it's funny because I created it, doing it here, I didn't pay attention that I created it already from here. So there it's telling me, hey, you're trying to create a second one that is exactly the same. So I will cancel, and you see that it's existing anyway because I did it from here. So I'm going to try to send another one to the RFQ this time. I need to copy paste again. All right, this, so that I type RFQ at blah blah. Testing Odoo insider RFQ email alias, and putting a bit of text inside. Okay, so there as well, I expect it to be received in a few seconds. Same place in the pipeline or in my CRM lead things. There I have my activities. And I think it's funny, here it's different. Pay attention when you do that. I think I changed a little bit the CRM based on the previous discussion that we had on the Odoo Insider. So that's why when you go in CRM, you will feel like, hey, I don't have any lead, but I'm not on the lead, I'm on the activities, simply because I moved it, and the first thing is my activities here. So if I want to see really my pipeline, I need to move there, and then I have my third email, that is this one, and you see now it is linked, I guess, to another team. Yeah, RFQs, simply because I sent another one with another email alias. So on your side, what you need to decide is what is the concept or the model I would like to link my RFQs to. And it's important to realize that when you go to the aliases, there's a huge impact in terms of default values. Because of course here the default values, I'm saying it's an opportunity and the team ID is 1. The second one is team ID is 5. But if I have a look at customer invoices, you see that we have more information, and at the very least in the default values you should have there all the fields that are mandatory, otherwise it's going to fail and you won't see it because it's in the log of the server that we will be able to see it and you won't. So it's important that you pay attention to this. And if you tell me, yeah, I would like it to create sale orders, that's fine, it could work. The only thing is that sale orders, sometimes people don't see it, but sale orders, you need to have a customer. Like if I do this, I need a customer, invoice address, delivery address. So at the very least, we need to create something like this, like fake customer, change me, like here, so that we say this one is number 28, no, 27 apparently. All right, so that if I'm saying I'm creating another RFQ, let's call it RFQ2, and we say this time it should be sale orders. At the very least, I should have default values being partner ID is 27. Not only this one, because I have different fields, and very important, I have 3 fields that are mandatory here: partner invoice ID and partner shipping ID. So it would be the same, partner, oops, let's copy paste that one, partner invoice ID and partner shipping ID. All right, and maybe there are other ones that I don't see, by the way, because sometimes there are a few fields that are mandatory, but you don't see them because they are hidden or they are on another page, or Odoo gives default values. So that's a bit sometimes complicated to do. I'm going to try it anyway. Let's see if that is working and if it's creating a sale order. So RFQ2 on my other computer, test SO, Odoo Insider. All right, test, blah, blah, blah. Let's send and let's see. I'm going to test something also just to see if I have a bounce in case it doesn't work. That could be also something quite interesting. I don't think that we do that, but we'll see. So very important, this default values and this alias model that we need. With every time the right default values. If you want to know which default values you can put here, one of the ways that can help you is going here, select the fields, and check the ones that are mandatory. Well, mandatory means required. So do we have required? Okay, we have 7. Company ID, I think a few will be set by default. We check. So we have already those 3. If it doesn't work, it means that one of those fields is not set by default and Odoo is not making it possible, and I will have to check the date order, the company ID, or a few things like those ones. So it's not, it's good. And you see, by default, it selects the name as being the number. So that is the email that I sent, and that is working. Good. Check how you want to do that. You'll find a solution with the aliases. That's the first thing I would recommend. If you don't know what object you should use, usually the leads or the opportunities are good to start with, because then you have lots of information inside and you see how to make it proceed. All right. Another question from Twitch this time, from Jump to Swiss. Hello, I have a question. How would we limit the access to a specific field, user ID and rest user, to a specific group or user? It depends on how you want to do it. Visually, a studio can be of a good help. Like, let's imagine I want to hide the payment terms to only the accountants. I go here. There will be several layers to my answer. I go here and I say, let's make it invisible. And I'm stupid because I made it invisible, but not conditionally. So it was payment terms. I will not make it visible, but I will make it conditionally invisible. And that's why you say, okay, under this condition, I make it visible or not. Then you have the possibility to do it according to groups. Like here saying you need to be, I was saying something about accounting, so you need to be an invoicing person to be able to see it. So you allow visibility to group, or you forbid visibility to group. You have different conditions here. If I close that now, and we have a look at how it is done in terms of view. We go in an inherited view, studio, and then we'll see something like purchase price, no name, attributes, product template, no, where is it? That's one. So make it a bit bigger. That's what was just created by my change on Studio Now. We say the attribute of the field whose name is payment term ID. We change the groups and we say invisible false. So because before it was true. So that is how you can do it, but it's just a matter of visibility. So it means that what I mean with it's just a matter of invisibility. Here you see I see it, that's normal. I'm part of that group I was mentioning, but it's just the visibility in that place. So technically I still have access to the information. So if I have exporting access rights, I can go there, click on export and say, hey, by the way, which are the payment terms? So I still have access to it because the group that I applied is only a group on a view. Views are just cosmetics, nothing in terms of security. So if you want to apply it in terms of security, then you need to define it in the field itself, in the code. So let's have a look at that. I'm pretty sure that if I go, I will maybe use the invoices. So if I go back a bit and I go there and say we go to the account, I'm pretty sure I would be surprised that we don't have a field on the account move. So the invoices where we don't have a groups notion. So it should be group something. Yeah. Search account journal groups. That is it. All right. So the payment widget, we have fields that are binary fields, or this one that is a Boolean that is only available to those groups, and that is stricter. It's better than what we have in terms of views, but it means you need to code it and eventually inherit an existing field to change its group information. That would be the way you can do it. So we have another question on but there's one on LinkedIn, but people are talking to each other. So I suppose you are helping each other. So I will switch to another one on YouTube because we have a few over there. But again, guys, if you can help each other on the chat, that's perfect. You're making my life easier. We can go on YouTube. So DBZAO, how can I disable automated emails? That we discussed. Then Vigilancia. Hello Antoine, in point de vente, is it possible to limit yes, attributes to only in the kiosk self order? Not without code, because there's no reason to have a limit. But I wonder. Two sauce for a pizza. Yes, okay. I see what you mean. Those are not predefined choices, otherwise you can have all the different multiples. No, I think that anyway that's the kind of thing that you would have to develop Vigilancia. Kishore Gouda, how to learn all framework. The docs are not much helping. We had the same discussion like last week. What I know about it. First, there are a few sessions Odoo Insider about OWL. I think that if we have a look at Twitch from a few, that's a good one. Just mentioning this, I'm going to reuse this. Oops, you have that list. We have one about the technical stuff, tech dev session. This one with Emanuele and Farah in December was about OWL, so about changes. So that is definitely something that can help you. We have a few tech sessions. We'll see when we can reorganize one. I think in next month we will have another one, and we can have a small focus on OWL. That would work. Other place, you know that you have the documentation of Odoo. That is here. We discussed that last week, but I don't know if you were part of the show. In the tutorials, you have discover the web framework, and then you have OWL component and building a dashboard. You have a bit of help, but it's true we don't start from scratch, even though you have a few extra other items here. I think that there is also a training on GitHub, training OWL GitHub, something like this. I think that's the one. Yes, that's also where you can go. to start and learn how to use all, knowing that here you learn it as all, let's say the vanilla all, and not especially all inside Odoo. But it's a good place to start first. Do we have how to test quick start tutorial to do app? Okay, that's to generate, as you can see, an application, a to-do application, and it's quite there. We talk about some length, because you see it's quite heavier in terms of code to generate. There's a mix of here I can see CSS, JavaScript, XML, I suppose. Yes, XML here. So that is a bit more complete. I think that I'm not sure that if this one is there. Kanban view, clicker game, gallery view. It's not a to-do application, so I think it's extra stuff compared to what you'll find on the documentation. And if you need more than this, it will be a course with one of our developers. That we don't have a course at the moment, like we have the other one in the slides, always guiding you. I think that every session I'm discussing about this website. We have something like, this is if you want to start your story on Odoo and how to be a project leader, like project manager, but more like starting to be a consultant. After that, you have how to be a functional consultant that knows lots of technical aspects of Odoo. You have lots of other smart classes. You have also a development. It's introduction to development. That's the one. This one is massive. Lots of videos. Lots of people registered already, and that one is very, very nice. But it is Python based, Python XML, because it's for the backend. I'm expecting one about OWL. If I type here, I'm not sure we'll have OWL anything of similar quality. Maybe this year, but as you can see, there's not. It doesn't exist at the moment, but it takes a lot of time. Like this one, I remember it took several months of work, because you want to be very accurate. You want to reuse what we already have. You want to create videos that are clear. It's always in the studio, like today, where we have lots of moments where we cut because the quality is not sufficient. So it takes a lot of time, and you need to find, let's say, a good quality enough that could supersede this, because this one, as you can see, it's already long, and a lot of effort was already given in improving that. Last answer is usually during the Odoo experience, we also have smart classes or introduction to all things. So that's also another moment where you can do that. Another one was from Jean-Luc Entas on YouTube. Hi Antoine, how to prevent record rules to prevent website shop to display for public user? I'm not sure of the direction of your question. I don't know if you want to hide the web shop or if you want to show it. But there, yeah, it's a demo environment. I'm not there anymore. Let's go back here. If I go on the website in the configuration, I think there's something about the shop. I thought that since a few versions we have something to hide the shop and only make it visible to, it's not in delivery, only visible for some types of people, SEO no, but I must be wrong, or I must be scrolling a bit too fast, because I had the feeling like, okay, okay, from portal. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, what you can do is that you have website menus also. Menus. There you could also say that this one, I think you can make it visible only to some groups. So to say, okay, you need to be quality administrator to be able to see it. That works. It's not perfect though, because I will show that. If I go right here on the website, you see I on my side I have the shop over there. I suppose I'm part of one of those groups, so I will go here, remove my name, save, go here, remove my name as well, save. I would suppose that because of that, I wouldn't have access to it anymore. Yeah, you see, I cannot do that, and I even lost the editor features at the top. So that's why I don't have access to the shop, but I don't have access to button shop, but I have access to the shop. You can see that here, if I'm on the home page, I cannot click shop, but if I know that it is shop, I can go there. Ah, no, that's good. Otherwise, it's not right, properly written. I can go there, I suppose. Ah, no. Let me check. It's shop, right? It's so small, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, no, it was an error in terms of URL. So you see, if I know it, I still have access to it. So it's not perfect. It's not like real security, but like it will usually be enough. Another thing that you can do, but then it's talking in terms of code. I'm going to remove those ones so that it's not like something that really exists. But a funny thing is that as I'm not part of those groups, I cannot even change it. So I need to go back to another place. Like that's a funny one. I need to go back first in the groups. What was it? It was quality. So I can put myself back as someone in that group. And because I'm doing that, now I should be able to remove this. That's fun. And do I have access to it now? Yeah, I can see it. So what I wanted to say in addition to this, yes, I think that in the controllers or the way you render the pages, there's a possibility to mention a few groups that I need to check in terms of code. So I'm going to, I'm not expert into that. So again, pardon me if it's not perfect. Website sale, I think it would be the place where I need to go. Okay. This one, I think that in the controllers, I'm maybe going to find a few things related to, is it the sale or the website? Nope. Because lots of routes that you have, maybe I can try to find a route shop. Is it where I'm going to find it? Shop, sale order, it's not the one. Website, login, blah, blah, blah. It's not exactly what I wanted. Is it the main one, in fact? I guess it is. Yes, express checkout. What I try to find is a few places where you have routes, where you have, you see you have that notion. So maybe I think there's a way to have some other auth values that help you in terms of security, but I'm not good enough for that particular aspect. I'm trying to find if I have a few other auth things, but the search I can make on GitHub is going to take quite some time because I think you have auth user, something like this. So let's try. Yeah, that's it. So you have a lot of few places. It's auth user. You have other values, and I wouldn't be surprised that you sometimes need to have a group, or you can maybe force the fact that the person has a specific group directly inside the method that is below that route. So the method that is launched when you have a route, so that you check the access right of the person. That would work as well. It's maybe a better control because it's in the code and not in the view or just simply in the link. That's a possibility as well. I don't know if it was Jean-Luc that asked this. I have another one on LinkedIn from Aggie Peter. Antoine, hi Antoine, I'm Peter. Please help me with this. I want to display the delivery button on the sale order only with these two conditions. When the invoice is paid by cash fully, to when the invoice is paid by bank and should be approved by the accountant department. How can I archive? No, I think it's achieve that in Odoo community. Please answer my question. I have taken 4 months troubleshooting and no result. Okay. The thing that is important, I'm not going to bother you with that, but usually for everything that is Odoo community, we don't help simply because our way of working is first helping clients that are in Odoo Enterprise for obvious reasons. But I'm willing to give it a go because your question could be also happening on Odoo Enterprise. So you want to show a button or hide it? I don't remember well. Let me check that. It was about so when the invoice is paid in cash or when the invoice is paid by bank and should be approved by the accountant department. and then show the delivery button only at that moment. All right. It's going to be a bit long, but we can try it, or at least give you a few hints for this one. The thing is that in that case, I suppose that what you want to have is kind of a product that is that needs to be paid before delivery, because that's a bit what you want to accomplish. What is a bit bothering here is that you have conditions that are really specific, so I don't see any other way to achieve them by having a bit of code, instead of relying on other things that already exist in Odoo. I'm going to illustrate what I mean here. You know that when you sell goods, in our case, you're talking about the delivery, so I guess it's good. You have invoicing policy on order quantities, or you can say on your side, not delivered, because you want to have the invoice before the delivery. So let's select order quantity, and this one, maybe I already have a product like that, in fact, so that I don't create another one. Products, let's check by product, order quantity, yeah, by product, we can use this one. That would work. And yeah, okay, if I create a new quote for whoever is the client, all right, by product, it's okay. We have this, but what you want is that if you confirm if I'm correct, you don't want to see that button, so that people don't go there and don't make mistakes. I would maybe do it differently, by the way, because if you hide that button, what happens is that you don't see it, you cannot access it from here, but nothing prevents you from doing this, then going into the inventory, then going into the pick pack. Oh yeah, it would be then first pick. So which one is it now? It's SO29. So yeah, it's the one that we have here, just created now. So that thing, I can do it even though it's not directly from that button. So your question seems to be centered around the button, but I think that it's not so much a button that you want to hide. It's more the fact that you can validate here, because otherwise, even though the button is hidden, you can still validate it. So I would maybe act differently. If it's about visibility, anyway, the conditions would be the same, but I would go in a different place to change that. Important thing is that you need to go here and say, we are going to display an error message if we don't have the right conditions. And the conditions are invoices paid, or okay, hide it or show only on those two conditions by default. When you confirm a quotation, it's displayed. Okay, it's about the hiding. I will do it here about the validation, and we'll see how to do it on hiding. So what we want to be sure of is that we cannot deliver something that is not paid. First thing is creating here something like, let me check how we can call that. Error if not paid. Let's be simple here, and I'm doing that on the stock picking. So the trigger would be like if you want to save, and that this thing is in a state that is different than done, and that you go in the state that is done. Because typically that's when things move. It's when you go from different than done to done. And then we want to display an error message. And that is why it's long, because in order to know if it has been paid, from the picking you need to find the right sale order, and then the sale order you need to find the right invoices. And from these invoices you need to check if they are paid, and your conditions are quite tricky, because you say either paid in cash, so it's not always paid, it's either paid in cash, or to come back to your exact question / definition, it's paid in cash fully, or invoice is paid by bank and should be approved. Okay, I would say paid in cash or paid by bank, so paid. All right. Then maybe if it's just paid, there's maybe another solution, which is not perfect, by the way, because we will see a few caveats compared to what you want to accomplish. Because what you can do is not go in the invoices, but rely on the invoice status. So would that be enough? Because you see it's here to invoice. and say that if there's something that is to invoice, it means that the invoice is not done yet. Ah, yeah, but if I do the create invoice, let me check. If I do that, I have the invoice. Maybe it's confirmed, but then if it's not paid, it's not going to help you. Let's check that. What's the quote? Yeah, it's fully invoiced, but it's not paid, and that's what you want. It's not the invoice status, it's a payment. Okay, so it's not going to help that just the invoice. We need to have the invoice payment, and to know that the amount due is 0 in that case. So let me check. Let me check that to have at least kind of a prototype. So we are on the record, and we need from this record, that is the picking, to fall back on the sale order. And I don't know if we have an easy way to do that. Remember, we had something similar last week because we played a little bit between picking and SO. And I think that here we have something like picking IDs from the SO. So let's try to find if I'm correct. What I want to do is check the fields. We have something with the picking, right? Yes, picking ID is good. So I need to find the possibility that if I have, I need to find sale orders for which this picking is part of, and then from that sale order, check the invoices and check if we have any invoice, and it won't be exactly correct, any invoice that is not paid. And you will see that it's problematic because in our case, where we have just one line, it's easy. One line, one invoice, one delivery. But what about multiple deliveries? I will need to check line per line and not document per document. So that is even more complex. You would have to forward payment information on the move lines. That would be a bit more complicated. We won't go there today. What we can do is have a look at first approximation. That is, let's go in the sale orders and let's try to find the one for which we have picking IDs equal to this in the record ID. Let's try this. I wonder if that would work as such. So I'm going to make a intermediate check like this one. So that is my test, and I'm going to simply see if I have something for this test given to me. So let's try, at least syntactically it seems correct, and I'm going on my inventory here, checking the picking, the last one that we have here, and yes, if I validate this one, okay, anyway, yes I can. All right, it found the sale order number 30, it's okay. My test, I didn't like it too much because I was afraid of clicking on validate, and okay, but if it really validates it, then I need to create another use case. But I remembered that anyway I have raise user error, so without any condition, so anyway clicking on that button should trigger the error whatever happens. And also it would there wouldn't be a case in what I've written where the picking would be moving from draft to done or any state to done, thanks to this, and I just wanted to be sure, and so I thought about that. Now that we have a sale order, what matters is I want to find the invoice lines that are linked to this and then go back to the invoices and be sure that all the invoices are paid, which is not exactly what we want, again, because maybe in a sale order you have multiple lines and that some lines would be paid, some wouldn't. Let's imagine we have 10 lines splitting my shipments. Some of the shipments are paid, some are not. That would be way more complicated, but I like the idea of trying to dive a bit further. So we have here, I think that from the invoice lines, that's another check that we can do. If I go to the models or the fields, no, the models. I'm curious about, not that models, I'm curious about account move fields, account move line, because I think that there's a direct sale line, I think. Sale yes, sale line IDs, but do we have sale order something? No, it's directly line between lines. So I need to find the sale lines IDs that are part of the sale order that I was mentioning. That would work. And there's maybe some other, faster way, because maybe there's a link between the invoice and some delivery document. I'm not sure. That would maybe be a faster way to go. I think we already thought about that kind of thing last time. I will continue this way. So now we have the sale order. I need to have the sale order lines. And sale order lines are the ones that are this time sale order line for which the is it order ID? I think it would be order ID. Order ID would be in test.ids because that's where I may have stored my information. I will say SO. It would be better in terms of information, and then we can do that. I just want to test if I find sale order lines, or if I made a mistake, I will do the same. Then mistake. Let's see what happens and what I did wrong. Is it telling me what? Blah, 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 blah. Operator doesn't exist. Okay. Sale order ID in array. Okay. It's the operator that is wrong that I used here. It should be sale order ID, yes, equal. So I have one order ID that is true. So I will try this one. If we have only one value, it's maybe not exactly what I want, but let's try it. Okay, so we have the sale order line number 37, so that's okay. From that, we need to find the invoice line. I have the feeling that this is way more complicated than it should. So we have the invoice line. Again, then this time up. Oops. Then we make another search that would be this time based on account move line. Search for sale line IDs in, this time it's a sale order line IDs, because maybe I would have several ones. And that is not correct, because I should pay more attention to the fact that I would have one or several potential matches. So let's try again. This time another error. Let's see what it says. Yeah, again, same stuff. Let me check the thing. So we have sale line IDs. Should be in sale order IDs. That one though should be correct, I have the feeling, because we have the sale order line. But maybe it's already the ID that I have here. No. The thing is that I only have one record, so I think that's why I may have an error. And it's a bit small, so it's not helping either. Okay, the sale order line. Yes, that's not what I want, because then I'm not raising the right thing that I want to raise. All right, so I have my account move line, and then from there, so you can see how complicated it is. I can go from there and say, okay, if inv line and that thing has a move ID, it will have it. There's no other solution. So, and that is it amount due is higher than, or strictly higher than 0, then we give an error. And I would say else, I would say put another error. Let's say it's fine. All right. So either we display the invoice, move ID, name, and otherwise we say it's okay. What else do we have here? there's no amount due, so that is another thing that I need to check. I can't move. It's not amount due, it's something different. There's so many different amount fields that I'm not always sure. Amount paid, residual. Amount due is the label. What I need is residual. All right, so let's go here, amount residual. All right, so if there is a residual, it means that I didn't pay in full. If I didn't pay in full, it means that all right, so there's a residual, so that's why it's showing the amount, the invoice. And now if I go and I pay it, so here, if I go in my invoices and I mark it as paid with the bank, let's go in payments. But you see the amount due is still there because I still didn't receive it from the bank, so that wouldn't be sufficient. I would need also to go to the accounting. Over there in my bank, I would have some transaction, so a proof from the bank. It's even better, in fact, a new transaction with, I forgot the amount, so I'll need to go back just to be sure of the amount I had. Oh, I would put 2,420, so let's create a new one. Who was the partner? Client 4. Client 4. All right. Let's match it. And do I have it here? It's the one. All right. Let's. It's not exactly that. I put that. It's not 2,000. I put it's 2 points. So that amount is not correct. It's. That would be better. I have a small issue with my yeah. I'm confused between commas and. Is that correct? Okay. Open balance of. My issue is the amount that I have here. That is correct. Wait a sec. If I validate and I check my invoice. Anyway, the amount due, that's what I wanted to achieve. It's just that I was with €2 and I thought it was 2,000, so that's my error. Going back to my picking, now if I validate, it's saying it's fine, so I would be able to proceed. And so you see, what I don't like in my method here is that we have many jumps to do, and it's clearly not resilient enough for all the different use cases that you may have. So if you have a bit of time to develop this better, I would do it differently and work kind of line by line, so that you see something that can help you is going on the sale order. On sale order, we have already some places where, like the delivered, or like we have some quantities that you don't see that are quantities to deliver or things like this. Try to compute them at the line level and accept to make a link between the sale order line and the stock move line, just to be sure that the stock move line, if there's any stock move line that is linked to a sale order line that is not fully paid, then you cannot proceed. That would be maybe better. I just want to have another look at the models, and I would go to stock move lines, because I'm not sure that there's a direct link. So it may be new relationship that you have to create yourself. Do we have something related to sale price? Nah, that you don't have. And let's have a look at the stock move and not the stock move line. Stock move here. Let's try to see if we have something more in terms of sale line ID. Okay, from the stock move. So from the stock move line, you can find the stock move. The stock move is linked to a sale line ID. So that could be a better way to navigate from the picking. If the picking has any stock move line that is linked to a stock move that has a sale line that is not paid, that would be maybe a better navigation between the different records than the one I have used. But as you can see, it's a few trial and errors and to get to a solution. But that's where I would go. Okay, I see it's already 29, so I've just maybe the time for a very quick question checking. So I see here from Shreya Priya on YouTube, how can we mass archive chart of accounts in Odoo 18? You won't be able to archive everything because what you can do is if you type chart of account, maybe you cannot archive the account for which you already have things. I'm going to try this. Can I archive this one? You don't have archive, you need to mark them. It's not exactly the same notion. You need to mark them as deprecated. Checking here, if I do that, I can remove it, even though I already have a balance, so already things. Because that is a bit different than archiving. I'm going to check the reasoning, so deprecated. You see the label and the field name is deprecated. Archiving is a notion that is linked to the active field. In the fields, we don't have active, so it's not something that you can archive like the rest of the records in Odoo. It's really a notion of here deprecating. You don't have that notion. So it means that they will remain and still be visible. But what you could do is, if you are afraid that accounts, as they have been created and there are amounts inside, they will be shown, what you may need to change is say, okay, if my account is marked as deprecated, let's hide it from a few places, like filters on fields having a many-to-one or a many-to-many to the account object. That would be another way of doing. I guess we do it in a lot of places so that you don't select by mistake deprecated account, but if there are a few places that we missed, that's what you could do. I see still, again, a few more questions that we didn't have the time to answer. To me, it is great. It means that you have a lot of things to discuss and that the time that we have is valuable to you. So please don't hesitate. If there are way too many, you know, the way we answer it, it's creating extra sessions pre-recorded, which means that then you don't have the time or the possibility to ask them live, but at least we can handle the one that you sent. Thanks a lot again for your time following us during this show. Let's see each other next Thursday, same time, same place. And until then, hope everything goes fine. You know that you can always contact us on the partner request if you are a partner. That is fine as well. See you next week and have a good end of the week as well. Bye bye.